All right, welcome everyone. This is going to be some Vintage Cube Vegas practice. I have a few 64-player tournaments lined up this week, and yeah, what better way to practice for those than get into the thick of things here with a banger of a pack to start off. So let's see. We have Library Alexandria is going to be good in any deck. We have Academy, very, very strong build around. We have Orcish Bowmasters, which is this card that, great against small creatures, great against card draw, and it's just in general awesome with, the power of draw sevens. For me, this is going to be between Library and Bowmaster, and I'm actually going to take Bowmaster. So despite Bowmaster being a colored card, I think it's going to make my deck a overwhelmingly majority of the time when it comes to, either being black or splashing. But yeah, this pack is quite awesome. Passing some great lands for the next people down the road. There's a big drop off down to Ignoble Hierarch in Fiery Confluence and Palace Jailer from the cards I just discussed. Let's see, what can we do here? This pack is definitely not the best, so we kind of have to speculate a little bit here. I like a lot of cards in this pack. I like Balance as a build around. It's nice to get it early. It would be kind of cool. I like Hex Drinker. It's just a card that's good early, good late. Fractured Identity is a good mid-game trump. It is double off color, so I'm leaning towards one of the single color options. I'll take this Balance. I don't think I've ever had Bowmasters in Balance in the same deck, let alone, to start off the draft. So let's see. Balance, yeah, I like that. Then we're looking to draft, Planeswalkers, Artifacts, stuff like that. We already passed Academy, but maybe it's okay. I'll try. I think it's too weak to take a card like Kaito or Pentad Prism. I'm going to try with the Balance here and see if we can do some cool things with Balance and Orcish Bowmasters. Whew, this pack is not ideal. I will say I like Shorikai a lot. This is kind of like a Planeswalker. Good value engine. It's literally an engine. The Genesis engine, the value engine. Yeah, it just might be Genesis, the Genesis engine. We're looking to go into some Esper type of deck. I mean, it's not exactly what I dreamed about. So you can argue the Workshop is going to be good in my Balance deck, but I just passed Academy, which is the biggest payoff. So I don't think that's the way to go. Like, colorless is also like, well, kind of a color, right? So might as well take this and try and build some Esper deck where Balance is strong. I mean, that should be possible. So this is an interesting pack. I think cards like Toxic Deluge, Baleful Strix, Council's Judgment are all reasonable. Maybe I just take the Toxic Deluge and I become the sweeper deck. So what would that put me at? Most likely like blue-black splash white? What if I take Baleful Strix? Then it's kind of the same thing, right? Then I'm blue-black because Baleful Strix is costed at blue-black and is cheap. Blue-black splash white. This is super interesting. I don't think I've ever had this start before. Or like, yeah, just this heavy into like the sweepers and stuff. So let's see. In theory, I could be some black-white control deck, but I just don't think that's realistic. Am I supposed to take Retrofitter? Retrofitter is kind of good with Balance early on. Maybe you can chump with the creatures and you'll be fine later. What's the alternatives here? Cryptic, pretty hard to cast. I'm actually going to go for the cheap card here. This draft could be fun. This is not something a deck that I've seen before or had before. Okay, this is a good sign for us. So Imperial Seal, the top deck tutors are very potent with Balance. They could be very potent with putting together Bowmaster's Time Twister as well. Reprieve is the safe pick. Celestial Colonnade to improve the mana is definitely also cool. Okay, I'm actually going to take the Imperial Seal here. I really like the top deck tutor with the Balance. And now I think I should just improve my mana with Tar Pit. Tar Pit allows me to cast black cards and Genesis engine. It's funny I called it that. Shorikai, let's just call it that. Yeah, pretty interesting. Let's take that card. So with the way things are going, as I the Fatal Push, am I really like, am I going to be like black-white control? Is that even possible? I don't know. Black-white control with artifacts in it to make Balance good? I mean, Why not? Okay, I'll take Fatal Push. That's just an incredibly solid card. So I'm kind of inventing my own archetype here in case I don't play the Shorikai, or in case blue is the splash color. I mean, these cards go well together. So it's mainly a matter of how do I actually... Ooh, I just passed the Doomsday, and here's the Oracle. So if I remembered my opening pack better, I would have thought about the Oracle wheeling, and I maybe would have picked Doomsday out of the previous pack. But that's okay. Maybe it's just a... Well, Sweeper. I mean, I guess I just take the Dam. This is very unconventional, rather. Okay, so the Kaito is decent with what I have going on. It does... I'm going to put it over here because it really requires my mana to be good. I can take the Archfiend. Sometimes you get, like, good ways to madness it in a play turn 3. Baleful Strake's wheeling. That is probably too good to pass up, even though Prismatic Ending is serviceable. So, okay, so I take that card. So blue-black splash balance seems more likely. Blue-black, good with Kaito as well. Yeah, okay. Blue-black splash balance, most likely. Emperor, I mean... Will I ever cast that card? We can... If our mana ends up perfect, we can play it. Celestial Colonnade, very good addition. Who knows about the Battlesphere? Most likely, I don't play it. Okay, so blue-black splash balance is where we kind of ended up after that. So here I think I'm supposed to take Force of Will. I think it's realistic my blue count gets to a, satisfactory number. And Force of Will, just awesome line of defense. Snuff Out is good. The One Ring is good. Narset is good. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Force of Will also good with balance, funnily enough. Let's add Force of Will to the deck. Getting past a Tier 2 Fixer and a Miscalculation, so I'm going to take Miscalculation. I will have to think about my fixing sooner or later, but I think getting the 2-mana counter is quite strong. For now, the Shorikai for sure makes the deck. Here, I can't say no to a Tundra. I almost don't care what else is left in the pack. Spellseeker Balance is not quite the combo, because either you have to let your opponent keep a creature, or you have to chump with the Spellseeker first. The opponent knows you went and got balance, so it's not really that strong. Let's see if we can wheel the Dark Slick Shores or Fabled Passage. That would be awesome. Okay, so no immediate card that jumps out here. I like the Preacher. I don't like the Silent Clearing because of the damage and my controlling nature. Blade Splicer off the splash is not very impressive. Fallen Shinobi is good with Strix and maybe Bowmasters. I don't know. I think this card is better. It's like a 1-card snowball instead of a 2-card snowball. So here I have Godless Shrine versus Memory Lapse. Actually not a simple pick. I feel like I should check the Premier fixing. Use that as like my tiebreaker. Taking Godless Shrine makes a future fetch land way better, and I already got my first 2-mana counter, so I'm not that desperate, so maybe this is fine. Also, this means I'm up to 3 white sources already, which is not bad. So here I think it's pretty clear Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. It's just a good curve topper. When I have that in the Shorikai, I'm basically saying I have my win cons in place, my inevitability in the longer game. Entomb is a bit late, so I couldn't really plan for it. I think somebody's going to get a late Entomb and be very happy in this draft. Worth mentioning is I'm not playing against my, the pod I'm drafting against, so that changes the dynamics a tiny bit. Right now, it's in everybody's interest that everybody gets a good deck as possible, right? Okay, pretty happy to see those 2 lands. Which one is better? Prismatic Vista is a tri-land. Let's say I register 1 island. Meticulous Archive is a 2-mana land, so I think right now it looks like... No, not 1 island, 1 plains, obviously. So I think right now I basically have my white under control, and this is an untapped land, so it's slightly better. I don't know. Speculating on Sword of the Meek versus semi-off-color Lingering Souls. So I'm going to speculate on the Sword of the Meek and hope to find up their Foundry. I even wheel a Snuff Out. That should be... Okay, I guess this pack was quite strong. I'll definitely take the Snuff Out here. Love that card. I will have to think about the life total a tiny bit here, because I am playing a controlling deck. So no like obvious stuff here. I can take the Dark Ritual, speculate a little bit. Turn 3 to Fairy, turn 1 Preacher. Like, it has some potential in the deck. I do wheel one of the lands from this pack. I'm very happy about that. I think I'm going to take it over him. Yeah, that seems okay. Pretty close pick, actually. And here I'm going to take the Shinobi, and I'm looking to draft some more, cheap, evasive stuff to enable the Shinobi. Otherwise, it's just not going to be that good in my deck. So, status after 2 packs here, or almost 2 packs. I have very few cards in my sideboard, and some of those are even viable. So I'm definitely in the right colors. Blue-black control / balance / Shorikai / Teferi. So very, very high card quality here. I'm going to take this headquarters. In theory, there's some stuff like Oko and Pest Infestation that this card enables. Batterskull could be a good sideboard card against aggro. So, third pack, what do we have here? Not the best pack. Wow. Okay, so Malcolm's good, or, it's decent, especially with a card like Shinobi. Malcolm is also a good card with the Shadow Grange Archfiend that I have in my sideboard to enable the turn 3 Madness. It's not that great with, Balance, Deluge, Damn part of the deck. There's Stoneforge Mystic, and I have a Batterskull. That is like a true control card. How much white will I have in this deck when it's all said and done? Because there's no... Well, Malcolm holds my blue count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I kind of need some blue cards. It's kind of annoying I have to take... I feel like I have to take a blue card here. Wow. This pack is awesome. So, everything from... Minskin Boo, Barrogoyf, Mind Twist, Tinker, Undercity Sewers, Hallowed Fountain. Wow. Yeah, this pack is amazing. So how can I... So when I encounter packs like this, I think, how can I get 2 cards out of the pack? I think that's the question you want to ask yourself. I feel like I can get a land back. Should I pick the Barrogoyf? Barrogoyf is pretty cool. Sometimes it even survives Toxic Deluge. It's a card that can buy me back some life. It's not crazy good or anything. It's just super solid. Let's check white. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a plains. It's 5 white in my deck. I think that's good enough, even though the Hallowed Fountain would be great. Taking the Barrogoyf here and trying to wheel maybe Undercity Sewers? Okay. Okay, I'll try. Wow, get past Mana Drain here, but there's also Time Twister. So this is a very close pick because I have a Bowmaster and a Tutor. So that means the upside of Time Twister is higher, but I just think mana draining and then casting a Shorikai or Teferi is just gonna lead to more, consistency. I also don't have that much disruption. But yeah, the Time Twister definitely interesting as well, and obviously the Flooded Strand. Mana Drain is just excellent in that spot. So here I get Underground Sea over something like Bloodchief's Thirst, but I already have, Push, Snuff Out, and all the mass removal, so I can focus my mana here. As we take this card, let's do a quick playable count. Let's also see if I want Disruption or Win Con here. So playable count right now is very high. I'm at 19 because I'm not counting the sword and I'm not counting my lands here. Let's take this. I have all this, now I have all the sweepers and I have all the pitch counters. So sweepers are good against creatures for obvious reasons, and pitch counters are good against spells. So I'm trying to be as well-rounded as possible here. Bitter Triumph, super cool mass removal, but I think I'm going to take Brainstorm here to help my blue count, smooth out my deck, great with my fetch. Let's see, do I have other shuffles? I have Imperial Seal, and it's just solid. Mana Leak, very, very nice pickup. Love that card. I'm taking it over Seachrome Coast. 2 mana counters are the, bread and butter of decks like this, so incredibly happy with that. It looks like I'm going to miss on the Sword of the Meek, so let's put it to the sideboard. So here, there's a blue-white talisman, which, funnily enough, helps balance Shorikai Teferi. I'm actually okay taking blue-white talisman in a deck with balance. So, am I ever trying to live the dream with Azuran Orb? I don't think so. Surin Orb is just very underwhelming to, draw as a normal Magic card. It's very good with balance, obviously, but don't think that's going to happen. And I do wield the Sewers and the Mind Twist. That's so funny. So let's see. How am I doing on playables? I'm actually right there on playables, so maybe I just upgrade my mana here. I have a couple of tap lands already, but I think it's going to be quite strong to have a good mana in my, mana drain, dam, splash white deck. Okay, let's take the land. Here's Lorne revealed versus some role players. Lorne revealed is a tri land that pitches to force and can get cast later. I can drain into it. Yeah, have to take it. Jace, I don't think I'm playing. Edict, I'll play it. I think that's exactly enough for a deck. Then I'm at 16 lands, I guess 15 and a Lorne revealed. Maybe I have to make one cut. Let's take a look at that. But Shelter's Edict, always super solid. This is actually an insane choice to have here. I'm never going to play the Gristlebrand. I mean, the Karn is also very sketchy. So maybe, is this crazy? Maybe Balance is a sideboard card? Is that crazy talk? I have Deluge, I have Dam. To be fair, Dam can be hard to hardcast. I have tons of Spud removal. Balance just might not cut it because I didn't pick up enough, artifacts and walkers. I don't know. I'll think about the balance here. Let's see. If I add 8 lands, I have to... Okay, so maybe I have to run the balance. Now, if I add 7 lands, I'll be at 15 lands, Lorne revealed. Okay, so now... If I add 8 lands, I'll be at... Yeah, okay. So I think I'll start the balance in the board and go from there. This deck looks pretty cool. We have how many counters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters with the Force of Will. And a ton of removal and a decent amount of win conditions. Not that many, actually. Baragoyf was a good pickup. Baragoyf, Preacher, Shorikai, Shinobi, Kaito Grind. Okay, I mean, I like this deck quite a bit. Let's add some basics and get to the games. One Plains is, the easy one. So what about the others? Let's count blue already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue already, which is awesome. So can I get to 12? Let's see. Black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 black, 12, 10. Sounds like very, very healthy mana base. All right. That's going to be my final build of Esper Control. Let's get to the games. Okay, round 1 here of the cool Esper deck that I didn't know existed. This is a keep. I have all my colors. I have stuff to do. I don't have a mana drain in my hand. I could draw it though, but I still think it's better to just play this out tap turn 1. So hopefully I'll kill a creature, play a planeswalker, and see. Hopefully the game hasn't gone out of hand. Also worth noting is if I draw another white source, I have a Wrath available. Mox is scary. Here's Wayfinder. So maybe my opponent has some graveyard shenanigans. That would actually be annoying. Okay, so my opponent tutors into a land, puts some stuff in the yard. So maybe my opponent is a Strip Mine deck. Ooh, nice draw here, Mana Leak. So if my opponent is a Strip Mine deck with Race to Recur, cards like Satyr Wayfinder is cool. You don't have to be, a Hogag deck to play that card. Maybe you have an Uro or something cool you can mill over. I wonder how I play this. If my opponent does not play anything, I'm kind of... Okay, so I guess I Fatal Push that card end of turn. Let's see. My opponent had 3 mana available this turn, did not do anything. So it looks like my opponent is trying to get to do stuff for 4 or 5 mana. And now my question becomes, is it better for me to sit around? I don't think it is, because I'm not making my land drops. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to play Kaito. I'm going to minus it. Let's see if this is just a response to Thin. Yeah, okay. So I make a 1/1, and it will phase out. And then I'm kind of getting ready to draw next turn. If I'm lucky to draw land, I can Shinobi. If I don't, then I can at least, attack, get a draw in, and see where I'm at. Hopefully I can find my second white source. Ooh, this is great for me. So my opponent did not have a play that turn because I killed the Llanowar Elves. Okay, so this is exactly what I want. Now I get to hold up Mana Leak while attacking with the creature and drawing from Kaito. This is amazing. Great spot for me to be in. Let's try and draw land. We do draw land. It's a tab land, but we definitely take it. Undercity Sewers. We have to bin this card. I mean, a 5-drop is not gonna be what I want here. Yeah, I mean, let's pass. So obviously this deck does not have any power in it, so this is not, you know, the best of the best, but this is a deck that will lead to, you know, cool games with a ton of interaction. So what is in my opponent's 6-card hand that they're not playing? I mean, let's see what the second main phase says before I jump to those conclusions, right? But 5 mana. Now I just expect to Mana League a banger. No. Huh, what is going on? Opponent with no play. They have 3 colors in play. Maybe just, I don't know, blue cards in hand? I'm not sure. So let's draw. I'm not going to Shinobi here. I'm actually going to sit pretty because I'm highly favored in this exchange of, you know, me drawing an extra card each turn and the opponent just pecking at my Planeswalker. So with that being said, let's just develop the not Thopter Foundry, Retrofitter Foundry here. So now I expect to, you know, make a 1/1 trade with this. Yeah, here comes something I can Mana Leak. That card would be amazing, bringing back Verdant. Yeah, the opponent's had enough here. My opponent's draw was very weird here. Titania is also a cool one with milling over with Wayfinder. I'm playing against the green deck. Huh. Thinking about balance, that's for sure. Do I have any bad cards against the deck? Maybe I don't have bad cards. Maybe I have like mediocre cards. Like the Talisman is mediocre without the balance. I didn't think about that actually. Bowmaster's kills mana accelerants. Force of Will, Force of Negation, good against, you know, walkers, lets me tap out. Snuff Out is awesome. Edict is just a, you know, 1-for-1, not incredibly exciting, but fine. Maybe I just play without the balance. How much white do I have? 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 white sources, so the dam is kind of on as a Wrath. I feel like I should just... Because I'm going to have way more cards in hand than the opponent, and I have a couple of sweepers and a tutor. I'm just going to resubmit this. Also worth noting, my Imperial Seal has gotten way worse after removing the balance, so maybe that's just a flaw of my deck building. Okay, I mean, this hand will let my opponent play Magic for 2 turns before interacting with Mana Leak, and that can be bad. Like, just, you know, turn 1 Accelerant, turn 2, any card like Tracker, 6, you know, any Snowball. Let's see. Yep, here's the Accelerant. I draw Colonnade. I think it's going to be better for me to get a little bit of selection. Force of Will, is that a card I'm looking for? Probably something like Mana Leak something, Force something. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that card. Let's see if the opponent has the Snowball card. They don't, so this is quite good for me. The opponent does not deploy anything sick under my Mana Leak. That's quite big. I feel like I should... Oh, Mana Vault. Okay, so I guess something huge I'm looking to counter. It would be ideal if I counter something that leaves the Mana Vault tapped on the side of my opponent, but you can't really... Yeah, this is another weird game. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to Mana Leak something. I'm ready to force something. If nothing happens, I'll Malcolm and start grinding a little bit. Yeah, that card is not gonna... super weird. Malcolm. Attacking. Let's see how we can sculpt our hand here. Go Masters is actually quite strong. I feel like I want double white because I have Dam in my deck, so maybe I discard Swamp. I could discard Swamp. I think I'm supposed to hold up Mana Leak and pass. If nothing happens, I can Bowmaster. But I don't think tapping down from Mana Leak here is going to be great. Ideally, I catch something super expensive, but I'm also realistic about maybe Mana Leak is the force fodder of this game. Let's see. Questing Beast. Questing Beast I have to force, so maybe this is where I pitch the Mana Leak. Yeah, let's pitch the Mana Leak. My opponent just drew that card. They would have played it last turn if they had it, so that means nothing else is going to happen this turn. Let's see. Should I do something cool here? My opponent will attack for 2, so that means... Am I supposed to Bowmaster the... Oh, I don't like... Wait, I don't like that attack at all. So now I can Bowmaster the birds, double block the ignoble. I feel like that's decent. Kill the birds, double block the ignoble, because that's like a multicolor accelerant. I feel like my opponent should have sent Elvish Mystic to the zone here. Draw. I will get in there. I will deploy a Shurikai unless something weird happens. Mana Drain. That is something... I'm not going to say weird. That is definitely something that I'm interested in. So now I can discard the island and go land pass since I'm winning. Or, you know, I'm ahead, right? And now I'm ready for my opponent to draw a banger and drain and play my expensive stuff and win the game. Okay. Okay, my opponent now has the correct mana. So maybe my opponent's last card is the Titania. Let's see. My opponent's last card was Eternal Witness, trying to get back Questing Beast, so I'm definitely going to drain that. My opponent has seen enough here. Yeah, this was just a beating from start to finish. My opponent did not capitalize on, you know, when I was shields down, and then, you know, having cards like Force of Will, Orcish Bowmasters, Mana Drain, Shurikai, I will just, you know, win you games of Magic. So pretty smooth sailing here. Let's see if we can keep it up. Okay, round 2. And yeah, I'm playing Esper Control. Let's see what this thing can do. The hand is on the draw, can get run over, no black mana. I can play a Malcolm and dig a little bit. I'll say this is a marginal keep. There's some perfect world where my opponent does not, you know, get off to the races. I get to play my stuff out, but yeah, this can be tough if I skip a beat here. As I draw another white source, 1 plane's in the deck, but it is definitely some kind of variance that I'm splashing. Let's see how fast the opponent is. Okay, Smuggler's Copter is very strong. Black Source would be delightful because my Sheldred's Edict is actually beating the protection from Mother Runes. Not going to be the case. So now I'm getting hit by Copter while I have to deploy the Malcolm and find some stuff here. It's going to be a rough one if I miss on black. Next draw step plus hopefully Malcolm trigger. Worth noting is the opponent went for Volcanic Island, so right now I don't really know if I'm playing against, you know, Oro splash Ancestral Recall, or I'm playing against, you know, Blue-White splash Forthilingus or Goblin Bombardier, Broadside Bombardier rather. I don't really know. Full-on Jeskai control, maybe, who knows. The Mana Confluence makes me think that my opponent is an aggressive deck. Usually not a card you want to play in controlling decks. I guess the Giver Runes already gave up the fact that my opponent was not control. Let's play the Malcolm here, and let's see if I can connect with that card. Here's a Swamp, so, you know, we have game. Attack with Malcolm, see what happens. Draw. Bowmasters is not the best, funnily enough. You can argue a card like Shinobi is probably not that great. I could lose my attacker. Oh, maybe Kaito is not that great either. I can play Kaito now to draw a card, but I can't double spell next turn because I don't have double black. So maybe I want to interact this turn. Maybe I just get Kaito out of there. Then I play Swamp and pass the turn. And then I'm looking to... Oh, my opponent has a flash creature? That's annoying. Oh, that card. Okay, so I guess I just killed that with Bowmasters, with my opponent being tapped out. Killing the 3-1, passing the turn. I have a couple of bodies now. My opponent can still get in there with Copter, which is something I have to deal with eventually. Let's see. Looks like a dismember to me. Dismember on the Bowmasters, totally fine, I don't mind. Then we're probably going to see the crew and attacking. The opponent plays that card out, so that makes my opponent more likely to be Boros Splash blue rather than some of the other color combos. So Copter gets in there. The opponent is interested in the looter of Copter. I'm taking note of the fact that my opponent played Mountain out before attacking, which is interesting. That tells me a little bit about their hand. Here's a Mana Vault. Let's see if my opponent can actually do something with it, or... Okay, so my opponent has one card in hand. Let's see. One card in hand. Maybe this is Shinobi time. Maybe this is Shinobi time. So let's attack with those two. I'll try the Shinobi here. I'll return the Malcolm. Connect with the Shinobi. Could be anything. Broadside Bombardier and Ragavan. Sure. Funnily enough, 2 pirates. That was amazing. Hitting two things off of the Shinobi. Just putting more cardboard into play. The Bombardiers being a must answer from my opponent's point of view. Otherwise, I can deal the last 7 with Shinobi. Bombardier and Shinobi are pretty good together. So my opponent will need to at least give themselves a shot here with the Copter loot, if they haven't already found an answer. And even if they have the answer, I have like solid stuff to do. Like I have a Shinobi going, I'm playing Teferi, drawing, untapping, then I can Edict. Or Malcolm. Like Teferi is so good with these 2-mana instant speed things. They'll let you double spell on a turn you're definitely not supposed to double spell on. Here comes what could be the desperation attack. Let's see. Draw. Broadside Bombardier. What a card. Selfless Spirit gets discarded. I go to 10. I don't know. Let's not get Time Walked, or let's not get something else. I wonder what my opponent kills. Let's say they just have a 1 removal spell. Do you kill Bombardier or Fallen Shinobi? I don't think that's an easy choice. Let's see. What is this? Plenty of stuff in those colors to deal with either. As always, thanks for hanging out. As my opponent concedes here, thanks for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to play Magic on the channel. Vintage Cube is definitely something that I've played a lot and will keep playing, but especially, you know, when it makes sense. With the tournament schedule, Vegas qualifiers are coming to a close. I'm very excited for my 2 shots this week. I hope I'll bring you guys some action from those tournaments, kind of depending on my mood at the time. And, you know, if I just, you know, lose round 1, might not be too interesting. But if the draft portion is interesting, I will post it for sure. So let's see. Playing against that deck, I could see myself cutting Force Negation for balance. I'll actually do that. So now I have balance back on the menu, and could consider Batter Skull, but I think it's going to be fine. That card is not ideal. Could consider it, though. So I have a Toxic Deluge in my opener, which is amazing. When you have a sweeper in your opener, that's just such a good safety valve against, you know, Giver of Runes Go deck. And Ragavan will be very annoying, though. So we dodged the Ragavan. That's cool. Here's Ancestral Recall. Okay. I see you, opponent. So very, very strong. Mulligan, undoing the mulligan there, and then some with Ancestral Recall. And then I could be in trouble. Let's see. Here's a Johnny, which is a card that I'm happy to swoop up with Toxic Deluge. So the plan is now, I hope my opponent develops something more into the Toxic, and I can get rid of that stuff. Broadside Bombardiers would have been incredibly annoying. My opponent thought about it for a second, playing around like flashy stuff. I'm going to take the damage here. Hopefully my opponent plays something that just dies to Toxic, no questions asked. That is something that dies to Toxic, no questions asked. And no more stuff. So now the question becomes, am I willing to take one more hit of 5? I don't think so. Am I hanging on to the revealed? I think I am. Okay. So the annoying thing about this is I'm kind of tapped down from 2 mana counters. But that's what happens. I'll do this for 2. For obvious reasons. Toxic gets around Selfless Spirit's indestructible thing, which is cool. And now my opponent has free roam. Hopefully it's something I can edict, and then I can counter the next thing, but you never know. Let's see. That is something I can edict. Okay, so this is perfect for me. My opponent plays a card that does not give value upon entering. Then I can Sheoldred's Edict and hold up Mana Leak. I go to 12 here, which is not nothing. My opponent's working on my life total. So let's cast this. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Pass. And now I hope to, you know, trade resources with my Mana Leak. And miscalculation, that's not the case. Okay, my opponent probably has a ton of removal in hand. I think this is a spot where cycling miscalculation is a good play. Damn, it's not a bad draw. Oh, so let's try and think about this. Why did my opponent not do anything last turn? If they had anything, they would have done it, right? Could just mean they have a counter, of course. This could be a clutch situation to draw 3. I'll actually try that. So, my opponent could have a counter, but it looks like there's a window where Mana Leak might not even catch something, and I have the dam to clean up if you know, my opponent plays creatures. So, pretty happy that worked. Let's see what this is. Instant speed. Okay, 2 mana to the face, and then I get to play my dam and hold up Mana Leak. Okay, so things are kind of going as planned here. I can't really ask for more. Here's the Crusher. If we're lucky, the opponent drew another creature. The opponent wants protection for the Crusher. Totally understandable. Barragoyf is very good here. So if I play the fetch land, my Barragoyf is winning the board. Maybe that is how I play. Let's play Barragoyf. So sure, my opponent can give protection and attack, that's fine, but then I can come back at the opponent with lifelink. Okay, I see you, opponent. Here's some kind of removal. It's probably unexpectedly absent here on the Barragoyf, which I'm happy to Mana Leak. Unexpectedly absent, Mana Leak. So now if my opponent finds some removal, sure, it's annoying, but I take one more hit, then I can dam. It's not the end of the world. Bombardier, is that game over? I take 4, I take... Ooh, okay, so I think I go to 1 here? No, I'm dead. I'm dead if my opponent plays this correctly. Wait. My opponent could have gone... Protection on the Bone Crusher, pro black, attack with both. I think my opponent forgot Menace on Bombardier here. If they do that, I take 6, and then they can fling. Yeah, so I just lived for no reason here. And my opponent made a mistake here, which is unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, because now I'm going to dam that board and be in a pretty good position with 8 life. Island is not a good draw. So Or, yeah, might as well sewers. I'm going to wait on the fetch. Who knows if I need the land, or need the life total, rather. Oh, Imperial Seal, I'm not going to go for. Let's go like this. Cast with Overload. Then I play Shorikai next turn, which is draw to make a token every turn. So my opponent needs something now, I'll say. Matt is definitely something now. It looks like the best draw on their deck. Is that fourth Yolingus? That's cool. It's a good draw. Fourth Yolingus it is. Okay. That's funny. So my opponent had to win back-to-back turns there. I like how I played, though, with the sweepers and taking the hits and using my life as a resource, trying to set up good situations. My opponent beat 2 sweepers there. That's not bad. Okay, so fourth Yolingus is a card that makes me more interested in having Force and Negation. Do I have any card here that is a win more type thing? I mean, Kaito is not amazing. I like all the other stuff. I can cut Kaito for... Also, maybe I can cut the Imperial Seal. How good is that balance? Maybe it's cool. Imperial Seal. Maybe I cut that card and I have like a Batter Skull. I think that's reasonable. Okay, game 3 here against Ancestral Recall Boros with 4th Yolingus. Pretty cool. This hand is fine. I need a white source to have turn 4 Dam, but I have stuff to do up until that point, which is always welcome. So there was one consideration here, was to slow roll the Retrofitter because it's most likely going to be the worst card in my hand for Malcolm purposes, but, you know, the Malcolm might get killed or whatever, and then I'm going to be happy I played it. Mana Confluence. Good in an aggro deck, as we talked about. Let's see. Okay. So maybe I play out this black now. Yeah, because I need black at some point in this game. But I also need double white, and my mana, even though I have a million duels, doesn't look very impressive with all the basics. Mana Vault, that's a good card. My opponent knows about, you know, miscalculation and stuff like that. Looks like they don't respect it, unfortunately. Is this turn 2 Headliner Scarlet? This could be my opponent, attacking here. Do I trade that off? Or do I simply say I'm going to sweep that up later with my Dam anyway? So yeah, I'm probably supposed to do that. And then I'm going to use the Malcolm to dig towards that second white source. The opponent passes here, which is definitely a sign of respect for the 2 mana counters that I showed. So let's see if I can continue that. Force of Will is quite incredible here. Draw to Fairy. I feel like I should... There is a chance that I don't need the sweeper this game, and I'm looking to go Force Pitch with Teferi, then play Shorikai. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to get rid of the Dam, and then I'm going to play towards Shorikai and kind of... not... Well, I'm trying to contest the board rather than sweep it. With the help of Retrofitter or Shorikai, stuff like that. Let's see. Now it looks like a juicy Force of Will. Let's see. Okay, that's not a juicy Force of Will. I'm gonna allow this, I feel like. Why did my opponent tap like this? So there must be a follow-up, right? Otherwise, you just tap your 3 lands and that's it. Blage hits the bin, so does my Malcolm. And now what? Jacked Rabbit. So, since I don't have my sweeper, I have to counter that good boy. I'll make a 1/1. I'll play my Shorikai most likely. My opponent has a Flaich in the yard, so I will have to go kind of big later. My opponent is in the market for trading damage here, which is fine. No, they're not. Play Island. Play Shorikai. Definitely looking to untap with that card. It's always a bit iffy playing that card out on an like without having the mana. If it gets killed, it's a bad feel bad, but I don't think waiting is gonna do me much good here. Broadside Bombardiers, pretty sick card. Now the opponent can, you know, shoot me for 3 if they want. With the mana vault that's just lying there. Let's see. My creature got killed. Orcish Bowmaster. Let's draw 2 cards here. Let's see if we can find something cool. Now I'm sad about not having the dam. I guess I don't even have double white because I only play 1 planes, so... Okay. Bombardier is a problem because it makes any resolved things basically, you know, be valuable. The dream here is my opponent has Ancestral Recall in hand, but highly unlikely to not have been cast already. Okay, so do I need double black at any time, or do I want to save the life potentially? I think it's fine to discard like that. Play the land. Pass. Are these colorless, the pilot tokens? Yeah, they're colorless. Okay, so the thing about Giver runes, it can give protection from colorless, which is also artifacts, which is also lands. It's not like Bala runes. So what happens here if I go? I actually think I'm supposed to try and kill this card now by going... let's see. First, I'll go Bowmaster and try and shoot the Bombardiers for 1. Let's see how the opponent reacts to that. If that happens, I can block with Pilot and the 1/1 Orc. And okay, so my opponent goes pro-black here. And now I need to make a token and double block it. I think that's reasonable. My opponent can then choose to fling the Giver onto one of those tokens. But I think it's good to pressure my opponent here. Priority is on my opponent. I'm waiting for my turn to respond and make a 1/1. I will tap down for Mana Leak here, which is not ideal. I'm hoping my opponent does something now before I commit the block. But let's see about that. This is a situation where I'm basically trying to prolong the game and I'm activating a Shorikai every turn, so that will be... I'm looking to nut dive soon, basically. My opponent does have a Flage in the yard, which is a problem for the longer games, but you have to deal with that problem down the road. Let's see what the opponent figures out here. When you have a card like Bombardier with Menace, maybe the Menace thing is what my opponent has been missing all along. But you want your opponent to, you know, commit to some blocks, then kill one of them, take down the other one in combat, stuff like that. So here, yes, I said I will make a colorless double block. My opponent can fling the Giver, but that's still a good exchange for me, I'll say. Double block to basically take care of the Giver runes. If that happens, my opponent keeps the Bombardier, I keep the Orcish Bowmaster, and I'm kind of trying to churn with Shorikai. The follow-up here is going to be important from the opponent. Once again, when I'm tapped down for Mana Leak... Ooh, okay, so very good for me. So now, let's draw. These are quite bad, to say the least. So discard Island. Maybe, let's see, did I make a mistake there? No, maybe I'm fine. So I can go land. Talisman, and again have, you know, two things open. Do I stay back with the Bowmaster? Is that useful? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, well, that was not the best turn for me, but with every turn passing, things are gonna get better for me on average because I'm seeing so many new cards each turn. I have, like, you know, any removal Baragoyf type thing. I think I pitched 5 mana to Fairy, and now I don't think my opponent can attack anymore, which is exactly the situation I want to set up. Make a 1/1, draw, keep drawing. Creature's a decent draw for sure. Draw 2, discard 1. Batterskull is also quite useful, so maybe I just discard the land. I feel like discarding a land there is good. 1, 2, 3. Play Preacher. Passing the turn, and then I can start attacking with that thing. Next turn, I can even play Batterskull, hold up Mana Leak. I'm not too sure about Mana Leak at this point in the game, but my opponent does have 4th Theolingus, so it could definitely catch a high impact spell. As turns go by, the chance of it catching Flage, yep, now that's just out of the equation, so now it has to do with the opponent's amount of cards in the graveyard for escape. Opponent can't attack, we kind of knew that. I am willing to create a 1/1. So now I could be looking to finish the game. Balance is, funnily enough, not a good draw here. Let's see how this works. Those boys can cruise. I can go 3/3 and 2 more. Then I can attack for 10. I'm going to get a life linking body. Okay. Is it time? Is it time to attack with Shorikai? Actually, I think I'm just drawing. Let's draw. Toxic Deluge. The funny card here. The balance is never going to be good, I feel like, with all of that stuff on my side of the table. Feel okay discarding the balance. I guess I now attack with Creature. Get another 1/1. The opponent takes the damage. And now I'm trying to do some shenanigans with the Retrofitter, so I guess I pass. Could have went Batterskull there, not sure. I think the negation is going to be cool because it exiles a spell. So it's not building the yard for Flage. 2/1, totally fine. My opponent could be... Okay, this could be a cool turn. So there is a chance my opponent sends the Bombardier now to put 2 things in the graveyard. But I'm not sure. And then go for Flage, but... Let's see about that. How desperate is the opponent? Yep. Oh. Yeah, the opponent's going to go for it, which is funny. So... Let's just block, block, block. That's 3 guys. Should block with another pilot, I feel like. Maybe not that, but pilots. Okay. Now my opponent's going to throw the Usher at the Bowmaster, most likely. And then my opponent's going to Flage from the yard. So this is cool. Lifelinker down, pilot down. After damage, that is. Shooting the Preacher for 3. Let's see how that works out. Oh, I get it now. The opponent wants to finish it with the Flage. Okay, perfect. So that happens. Flage is a card I have to deal with, interestingly enough. Mana League is exactly not enough. Here comes Flage. So, I mean, if I really want to, I can Deluge for 6. I hope I don't have to, though. That resolves, kills off the Preacher. Deluge for 6. I mean, let's see. Before my turn, what can I do here? Let's see if I know how to play Magic. So, 1 mana to make a flyer. 3 mana to untap. I could turn the flyer into a 4/4, but I think I want to turn the other guy into a flyer as well. So I have 2 flyers, and then I can kind of stay back with my 8/8. I feel like that's the move. Mana drain, perfect draw. So now I attack with the flyers, and I'm staying back with Shorikai that I can crew if I make a token first off Retrofitter. Let's see, then it's 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's cool. So pass the turn with double counter. I don't think my opponent can attack here. So then I'm going to draw on the end step, make more tokens. This is a great situation for me. I don't think there's any way out for the opponent. Okay, well, let's see what the opponent decides to shoot at. So I'm going to do like this. Make a token. Then I'm going to crew 1, 2, 5, 8. Done. Bowmaster down. Sure. Lage down. Then I'm going to go untap. Then I'm going to go the free option. Turn that one into a 4/4. So let's see. We can, if I go crew with those boys, I can attack for 12. That's probably quite nice. So 3, 6, and the opponent's dead here. So I crew with the 2 pilots, the 2 small creatures, attack for 12, holding up infinite hard counters. Yeah, wow, super cool. So that means we're 2-0, and next match is for the trophy. Let's get it. Okay, welcome to the finals. I'm playing Esper Control, and this hand is awesome. So yeah, let's get to it. So funny thing is, like, this is only minor, but I will not have a swamp for snuff out on exactly turn 1. So there's some world where, you know, my opponent does something weird turn 1 that I have like land Mox dash Ragavan or something. But I mean, very niche, but it's not a swamp. That's mainly the point, which is also the reason why I should play out swamp turn 2. Even though representing double blue is sometimes more impactful, but since I have a snuff out in hand, that's not going to be the case. So I'm basically just hoping my opponent plays some creatures. If my opponent plays creatures, this hand is amazing. I can even get to start drawing with Kaito. Basic swamp. Let's see. Imperial Seal. Okay, well, maybe my hand is not that good against turn 1 Imperial Seal. We could get flashed. We could get reanimated. Like, a lot of stuff that our hand doesn't do anything against. I was hoping for more like the Naya spectrum of aggro type things. So this could be a flash, but that's mainly just me, pointing that out rather than I don't have any counterplay to it. So let's just play our normal game here. So now we can attack with those and develop a walker or a preacher. Unclear what I want to do. Maybe the preacher is quite good. Let's try that. Let's see. We don't get flashed. That's cool. What do we get? Manamorphose. Oh, channel? If this is green for channel, this is awesome. Okay, so first of all, I grow my stuff, ping the opponent. Blue, red. The opponent, expressive iteration. Sure. Okay, well, maybe my opponent is setting up some kind of underworld breach, brain freeze type thing, and I have to press the issue here. Let's see. So let's count math here. What do I have in play? I have 5 damage. If I animate the tar pit, that's 8 damage, so I actually kill my opponent over 2 turns. This could be good. So maybe I have to try and kill my opponent as fast as possible here. Even though playing out the Kaito is the better, long-term play. Also looks like my opponent's kind of desperate here. I'll actually attack with the tar pit here unless I draw something weird. Okay. So let's not show any Esper shenanigans, and let's attack. My opponent's at 4. They have to beat me now. Let's see if that's possible. Imperial Seal, casting 2 cantrips into Bowmasters. Yeah. My opponent needs to storm me off now or sneak attack me dead or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sad to have seen this coming. I tried my best here. Underworld Breach, Lionside Diamond, Rain of Filth. This is awesome. This is exactly what you want to see. So now, I think my opponent can survive at 1 life. Let's see. Opponent. Oh yeah, Rain of Filth is absurd. So good with Underworld Breach. So now the opponent can go Imperial Seal, go to 2. Preordain into that card, go to 1. And finish the job. Oof. Brutal. Super cool. Sheldred. Yes. So having a Sheldred in play and then cast... Yeah, I just feel like my opponent could have just won the game here. Seal down to 2, preordain into whatever, Brain Freeze or Tendrils, whatever it is, and I lose. Now that my opponent spent 4 mana doing that, but I guess having Lionside Diamond online gives your opponent some room for error. I will say I really like that I have double force against that deck. Do I have anything cool on the board? I don't think so. Grixis combo. Always a delight to see that on either side of the table. Also pretty cool. My opponent casts turn 1 Imperial Seal, setting up for the turn 4 kill. You need some kind of foresight in order to do that. Super cool. Here's Imperial Seal. So I just assume my opponent does not have a Brain Freeze. But, I mean, who knows? 2 life. Preordain, Lionside Diamond, Brain Freeze will do it. Lionside Diamond, black, preordain into Tendrils will do it as well. Well, I guess not. Let's see. 7, 8. Sheldred in play, yeah. Preordain. Let's see. My opponent has 7 cards in the yard. Preordain. Preordain first. Let's see. My opponent could have gone. My opponent's at 3 life. And then my opponent can go Lion's Eye, Tendrils, or Preordain Tendrils. Pass the turn, I lose on draw step. That's cool. Very cool line here. Okay, so playing out the Sheldred was just, flashy play here. Let's see. My opponent is milling themselves over, so I guess I just get info about the deck. So basically, I just want to do like this, and have a screenshot available. Let's see, like that, and I'm just gonna take a screenshot here. Okay, so we lose game 1 here against good old Grixis. Just gonna look at a little bit of my opponent's deck here before sideboarding. So what do we know here? How many targets for my removal spells is basically what I want to know. Snuff Out is completely dead, it looks like. This can kill a Soul Jace. Yeah, some Grixis combo stuff. How much combos with the Twister and the Wheel? Just Sheldred. I mean, okay. I don't have much. So I think I'm supposed to board in like Dark Ritual to have more, explosive draws, but it's really bad. So I sideboard out Deluge. Edict is playable. Push is playable. Because the Confidant... Dam is very bad. So adding that one is easy. And then what about the second card? Something like Jace, I guess, is not nothing. Like, if I have this in play, I can't die to Brain Freeze, so... Maybe that's reasonable. I think I'm just going to sideboard like this and hope for the best. Snuff out. I hope to catch the lone JVP. Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but I think it's a reasonable way to play. Okay. Down a game here in the finals, playing against Grixis. And I can't mulligan this hand despite it having a few issues. If I draw an island on my second turn, I think this is worth it. If I don't, I just play Godless next turn. So keeping my options open here is good. Let's say I draw an island, my opponent plays Dark Confidant, right? Gonna be happy with that. We do draw the island, so it pays off for now. Here's a bat, which will take one of my best cards, so I might as well keep the info not there. Would have loved to draw a blue card here, I did not. But I do think I have to get things going. Snuff out a terrible draw. Let's... I should probably... yeah, let's invest into the future here. I could have started the looting right now, but I think this is slightly better. Even though, like, Snuff Out and Excess Lands are bad cards, I think reducing my opponent's life total, which, yeah, this is funny. So Dark Confidant, quite strong here. But working on my opponent's life total is not nothing, so let's do that and draw. Baragoyf is decent. Blue card there would have been amazing. So now I go Baragoyf, tap land. And I don't have any interaction this turn, which is unfortunate. The combo deck with a full grip versus shields down. So thankfully no Sheoldred mana. Sheoldred would have been one of the best things possible for my opponent here. Another cool thing is, if I actually get the turn, my Hato will kind of get out of reach of the Confidant attack, and I can keep working on my opponent's life total. Then it's going to take 2 Confidant swings, and at that point, I've drawn, you know, a bunch of cards, and I kind of have to survive this turn, right? Because then I have, you know, counter up, etc. Dak Faden is very strong for sculpting the perfect hand. So let's just quickly look at our opponent's screenshot. So how much interaction did they have? They had a single Spell Pierce and the bat, so not much interaction. Discarding a wheel here looks like a decent thing to do. So let's see if this is just, you know, the opponent putting some mana into play, or I'm actually going to be facing a Time Walk. Time Walk is so good with Planeswalkers, Confidant, Trigger, etc. Don't do it, opponent. Okay. It looks like we're getting smoked here. Very, very cool deck we're up against. Tamiyo with no green right now, but Tamiyo plus time. No, I'm lying. My opponent has green here. Okay. So now my opponent, I'm just gonna let my opponent finish the job here. This is the dream. This is what everybody wants. So this time it just wasn't me. Tamiyo return Time Walk, cast Time Walk. Then you get one more Confidant trigger, one more turn of dacking. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Vintage Cube is the best. Vintage Cube is the best. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a blue card this game, but, you know, that's what happens. I think if I don't play this out, I'm not playing to win. I need to play that out and hope something bad does not happen immediately, and then I can kind of go from there. Okay. It looks like my opponent is slowing down here, which is also going to work. Because my opponent did not find an untapped land. Okay, so no Tamiyo action this turn. So that means Kaito down. That means negation is up, but my opponent still has a Dak Fate, and I draw the Force of Will. Okay, well, that's not a bad draw. But my opponent still has a Dark Confidant and a Dak Fate, and I'm not pressuring the opponent's life total now. So, Flame of Anor, pretty annoying. Lionside Diamond. A piece of the puzzle, but not lethal on its own. Land. So Tamiyo, Lionside Diamond, and one unknown. I feel like I should hardcast Force of Will here. Negation is easier to double spell with later. If my opponent's last card is Spell Pierce, however... Okay, that is for sure gonna be the game here, because now my opponent goes Regrowth, the Walk, Time Walk, Attack. Yep, perfect. The perfect run out here for the opponent. I gave them too much time. They found the right cards. We know about the one-off Spell Pierce. We know about the one-off removal for Baragoyf. Everything's perfect here. My opponent found Imperial Seal, which will go and get Underworld Breach, and from there it's going to be easy for my opponent to finish the job. Oh, wow, even Inquisition, in case I had something? Sick. So, yeah, Tamiyo into the card you just tutored for. GG, sweet deck. I'll let you play it out for the camera. All right. That concludes our league here. Simply beautiful stuff going on the side of my opponent here. The perfect situation, 0 cards left in hand, but why do you need cards in hand when you have the most stacked graveyard in the world? Lionside Diamond is a Black Lotus in this spot, so obviously incredible. My opponent will have to look at the storm count a little bit and finish the job with a couple of brain freezes from the yard. Super sick. So something cool, let's say I had something like a worm or something that reshuffled. My opponent even has a Wheel of Fortune to like kill me, which is sometimes something you need, like something like Ancestral Recall or something that forces the opponent to draw. Or if you have a Thassa's Oracle in your own deck, you can kind of win without the help of the opponent's deck, like against Eldrazi's and stuff like that. So, Lionside Diamond. So Storm Count is now on the screen. My opponent needs a Storm Count of how much? 9? 9 times 3 is 27. That's not going to be enough. So the opponent has a little bit of storming to do, but that's going to be no problem. You can always brain freeze yourself here to build a graveyard to have more escaping power. Underworld Breach, what a card. I remember when that card was legal in Legacy. That was not very fun. People are very, very fast to find out these best ways to win games of Magic, right? So, let's see here. Brain freezing. Yep, just brain freezing me right at the gates for 18, looking to do it all over again. So I had a Drain double Force Draw that got ridiculed by my opponent's Grixis combo deck. That is, of course, the opponent ran well, of course, but it's just pretty cool that it's possible, right? The general talk of the town is like, oh, that deck falls to disruption or whatever. But yeah, my opponent really played through this this one. That was so sick. Incredible job. The opponent finishes the job. My library is at 0, and yeah, I'm dead. So thanks so much for following the video today. It was a great draft. Started off with a bang of a ended off rather with a bang of a game, and my opponent got to do a little bit of show off, and that's what Magic's all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look out for more stuff coming soon on the channel, and yeah, thanks for watching.